everyone, and welcome back. It's Rebooked, the show where we talk about the big meaty men and women who be slapping all the meat in the middle of the ring and the stories they tell in the process, brother. I'm, of course, GB. You have Matt, and you cannot forget about Jake. And today we are going to talk about the wild stuff that has been happening in the world of pro wrestling stories. And we got the kitty in the house today as well. Dale's
Wait,
here.
I'm upstairs. Where are my pets? Come love me.
Pets unite.
Animals, come hither. Whatever. Yeah, you're running. They run all over my keyboard when I don't want them to, and then when I need them to come and look cute, they don't behave like Jake's cats. So screw all of you.
Damn.
You don't want your cats to behave like my cats, trust me. Especially this one. Just pees wherever he wants.
Which one? What, Dale?
Sure.
Dale's the
Dale.
yeah.
Dale is the serial couch peer, aren't you?
Yeah. He's looking, he's like, you're damn right I am. And you better tell everyone to put some respect in my name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know better. Yeah, you do.
Guys, good to be back yet again, as always. My favorite thing to do in the week, get together and yap pro wrestling with you two knuckleheads. Good news. I was just at a Halo event this past weekend, and I had two people come up to me and say that they watch Rebook. So for the two folks who came up to me, hell yeah, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I love to hear it.
It's actually been happening more and more. Even at the Battlefield event that I did, a couple of the staff there were like, oh yeah, we actually watch your podcast. I was like, yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
I'm very excited about Battlefield 6.
Oh yeah,
to those
dude.
of you
Looks pretty
involved that are watching.
Yeah.
It looks like it's back to the old Bad Company 2 days, and I'm excited.
We'll talk about Battlefield 6 a little bit later. Trust me, we will. But also, it's just been a freaking wild weekend of wrestling. SummerSlam was 2 nights, which
First time ever.
I didn't like personally because it's like I had too many things going on. So I was way too busy and I couldn't watch everything. So I only caught like parts of it. And I saw most of night 1 and the big parts of night 2. But I actually, was a little shocked at some of the results. Of course, we'll talk about SummerSlam in a little bit. First things first, let's kick things off with Matt's neck of the woods, shall we? Because we got some TNA. Next week is going to be Emergence on Friday. Of course, you can check that out on TNA Plus. And it's going to be a pretty good card. It seems like we're at the very least one match we know for certain is going to be Leon Slater versus Cedric Alexander, which was set from this past episode of Impact after Hotch and Alexander fought Slater for the title, right?
It was a 3-way.
Yeah, it was a 3-way. Great match. Exciting. I mean, like those guys can go. So there's no, and I think again, the X Division going back to where we want it to be. Of course, love Moose, big fan of Moose, but seeing the X Division go back to those like high impact, very, pun intended, very exciting matches, it's pretty dope. But yeah, Matt, what should we be looking forward to with Emergence? Because we have Emergence coming up, but then we also have Victory Road, and on top of that, Bound for Glory. So a lot of work needs to be done to get us ready for TNA's big event.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Not only that, but I'm just checking to make sure. Again, I have these bad spoiler habits, don't I?
Oh, and by the way, Matt's new location. Can we talk about this real fast? This is the Wrestling with Whiskey set. Okay,
That's only some of it. That's just the display stuff.
we should be so proud to see. I'm trying to see all the good stuff there, right? And hold on, put the full again. What do we got in the background there? Oh, so we got some good stuff. Okay,
we got some whiskey. We got some tequila over there. There's some rum back there too.
You got some of Dwayne Johnson's Tremana. You got the Termana.
No, I have real tequila.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So sorry, Dwayne. If you want to try it, what actual tequila tastes like, So I did confirm. The other official match that we have for Emergence is Moose versus Trick Williams for the TNA World Title.
Oh,
that is official in Moose's hometown. Moose is original. He's an OG Baltimore guy. This is a Tom question, but I believe Moose played football there too.
Really?
That's kind of think where he got his start, and then he played for the Falcons, and then again, these are Tom questions.
Yeah, Tom knows.
I
These
don't know
things.
people's sports backgrounds, but
It's incredible
I know Moose
because
is a Baltimore guy.
typically
He played college football at Syracuse.
Okay.
Was a 5th round pick in the 2006 draft.
wow.
He's from Hyattsville, Maryland.
And correct me if I'm
originally,
wrong, because like I know like some people may not
but
watch
drafted by the
football.
Falcons.
But being drafted is still it's like such an incredible achievement, right? 5th, 6th, 7th,
yeah.
doesn't matter the round, right? So like,
dude, like the numbers that they always tell you growing up when you're like playing really any sport in high school, but especially with football, like the top 5% of high school players go to college.
wow,
And then like the top 1% of them
jeez,
go play in the NFL. So your chances of making it to the NFL are like 0.067% or something like that.
Wow.
It's crazy.
So for him to
So and he was drafted, which is an even bigger deal than just being signed as a free agent. So
yeah,
he went in the 5th round.
damn, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What a legend. Well, he will be going up against Trick Williams for the title. You know, I wouldn't hate it, but I don't think it will happen, but I wouldn't hate it if he were to be Trick, because I like this new Moose kind of fighting for TNA kind of thing, you know, because honestly, like when I think of TNA, truly, I do think of Moose. Like that dude's name has been synonymous with the promotion for so freaking long. I'll never forget hearing his name for the first time and thinking, what a dumb name, Moose.
Yeah.
This is a dumb name. And then I'm like, oh, I was like borderline uncomfortable for a second. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. And now I know that's fucking Moose. You know what I mean?
Then you saw him and you're like, that
that's
dude
a moose.
is a moose.
He's a moose.
That's a moose.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That should be an exciting match. They have fought before, but it was for the NXT championship, and that was when Moose was the X Division champion, I believe, right? Trick and Moose. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of Oba Femi. I'm thinking of Oba. You're right. I'm thinking of Oba Femi. Sorry about that. No, because Trick had the belt for ages.
They're not all the same people.
Wow. Okay.
Alex.
Way to tell that to a brown dude. All right.
This is a teachable moment, everybody.
No, but real talk. I genuinely do not remember the lineage of titles, and I kind of forgot. I don't know if this is a bad thing, but I kind of did forget about Oba Femi for a minute there. I think with all the things going on in WWE, it's kind of easy to. Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully he makes his main roster debut pretty soon. Then everyone will remember him.
It's tough too because I feel like he's been on this. He's almost on a Hangman Adam Page run kind of a. I feel like Oba Femi hasn't had a like in-depth story feud.
Yeah.
Recently, he's had a lot of like, I'm offering an opportunity to like, what was I forget the young, the guy who was one half of the tag team.
Javon? Oh no, it wasn't
Yoshi something or whatever. But yeah, so like him, he's kind of in Javon. There's kind of these like, I want to give these young guys. It's more like these chances, these opportunities, which are good matches, but. Yeah. He hasn't been in any like in-depth stories recently. So I feel like that's why he kind of swims under the radar, at least as of late.
Until you see him. And then you see him. And
then there ain't no radar that's
no radar can hide that man. That thing, he's a fucking beast. Unbelievable, like just a monster of a wrestler. But also similar, very much so, to Moose. That being said, though, we are going to have, bringing it back over, we are going to have Moose, Trick Williams fighting for the title. Should be exciting. But yeah, I mean, anything else, Matt, that we should be looking out for, especially going into this week with Impact?
Yeah, there's a couple. Well, first of all, we're going to talk about SummerSlam later, of course, but basically the first time to my ears now at Slammiversary, Bully Ray obviously came out, kind of threw down the challenge to the Hardys, right?
Yeah.
But it was still amorphous, kind of in the air, like, will it happen? We hadn't heard from Devon, all this stuff. Well, at SummerSlam, when the Hardys and Dudleys were there to watch the TLC match, they were ID'd in the crowd. On air, WWE did announce it that one last time, and now TNA has put the graphic out, Bound for Glory. It's going down. Dudleys, Hardys, one more time. So that's cool that officially went out this week. So a big marquee match for Bound for Glory in October.
Yeah.
But then to wrap up here, I mean, coming back to last week's, whatever you want to call it, TNA. If you did not watch Mike Santana's promo, I believe it's his first big promo addressing Slammiversary, the loss, everything that happened. I highly recommend you check it out. I mean, most people are already, if you're watching TNA or Mike Santana fans, he's kind of clearly the guy we're going with, right?
Yeah.
But you will be even a bigger fan after watching that. Just a lot of really good raw emotion, which he's very good at channeling. But I even told him this, just the way he it wasn't all just a 10. It wasn't all just like super low and monotonous. Like he had these levels of like anger, emotion, talking about his family, talking about making up for the loss, what he's going to do to get, I don't know. It was a hell of a ride, really well done, and fires you up. So I highly recommend that. And then Mustafa Ali, one of our favorite creative minds, continuing to kind of make anything out of anything that's given to him, had a promo with JOE HENDRY. So that sets up a match for this week's Impact, I should say, which will be the night before Emergence. So that'll be JOE HENDRY, Mustafa Ali, one-on-one, first time ever.
Wow.
And
That's
also
surprising.
just released on socials, Ali, I actually helped him film a little promo, all done on Ali's own time, on his own dime, where he kind of had a promo, had some things to say about JOE HENDRY to get people.
You wouldn't even give the guy a break, and you still charged him a fee to help him out with it. Unreal. You can't just help a buddy out.
Bro, I am a professional
still charging your daily fee
with massive amounts of debt.
I respect it.
And no, I legitimately I didn't. But like he rented out space, like he hired
this looks
an editor
amazing.
and all this. Dude.
Yeah, this looks really good. Showing it on screen on YouTube, but you can check it out. We'll make sure to put a link in the description to the tweet so you guys can go and support it and check it out. It's actually really, really good. And we also did retweet it on the Rebooked X account as well, or Twitter account, which I prefer to call it. So yeah, that looks super sick. So what was the goal of it? It says to expose JOE HENDRY, right? That seems to be the prevailing thought here.
Yeah, I mean it's not an unheard of concept before. A lot of people have come after Joe in this way, this idea that like he's nothing but kind of false gimmicks, not a lot of substance there, and he's going to expose him for how little substance he's had, and how, he's had a hell of a year appearing here, appearing there, and doing all that. But he kind of left TNA high and dry. He dropped the ball with the championship. He dropped the ball at Slammiversary. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And he's, Ali's going to be the reality check from all the hullabaloo and gimmickry of JOE HENDRY.
I love that. I love that. That is I think it really fits given these were the things that we were saying. I like how they kind of are blending this, because these were the things that we were talking about when we were seeing JOE HENDRY show up. Remember when we were doing our TNA episodes and we were like, but maybe this helps Joe more than it helps TNA, and so on and so forth. And I actually really like that they're taking that very real like grievance that some people perceive to have, and then they're converting it into a really good story. And of course, leave it to Ali to just be creative with it. I cannot wait until he is TNA World Champion. I cannot wait until he is the champion. It's gonna happen one day. It's so good. But yeah, so that's gonna be exciting. Is there anything? Do we have anything announced for TNA this Impact this week? I'm trying to see what's been.
Joe and Ali is the big one.
Joe and Ali. All right, Joe.
That'll be the main event of the show. And again, since we've recorded these, I can't say much, but what I can tell you is, even though this match, it's it's not an Emergence, it's on Impact and all this stuff. Probably one of the better one-on-one matches of Joe's TNA career.
Oh, dude.
Like, I'm not going to lie.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. watch Impact this Thursday. Oh man, okay, and it's Ali too. So
Yeah.
you know, I mean, hello, like, hey, Ali, low key, everyone likes to give, and for good reasons. There's flowers to give all around TNA, but Ali is truly like on another level. He is
100%.
disgusting. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what comes from there. And also that Cedric Alexander Leon Slater match, I think is going to be. And Jake, I think that's actually going to be a good establishing first match, first defense, like big defense for Leon Slater. Anything you'd like to see, Jake, from them in that matchup in particular with him and Cedric Alexander?
For Leon Slater to hold it forever.
I mean, yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you know, Cedric just came off of that huge match with Ali. I don't care who wins. I just am excited to watch that match.
Yeah.
I mean, they both are just so good. Ced's as good as he's ever been right now. Leon like can learn so much from him, because their styles are so similar. I think that he can really learn a lot from him in the ring. I think, like, no matter what the outcome of this is, like, this is a great opportunity for Leon Slater just to continue to learn and assimilate all this knowledge that he's learning from these legends that he's been in the ring with, between Moose and Cedric and
the Hardys,
other guys. So
even the Nemeths,
and the Nemeths, So I mean, he's just building a resume right now.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to this run.
Yeah, this match is going to bang. Absolute bang. It will be worth your time through and through. One final thing that I just thought of, Matt, that I wanted to pose a question to you, because we do know on Impact last week that our favorite brother tag team, the Nemeths, were in the ring, and they lost to the Rascals, but they demanded their rematch at Emergence. And I can't help but wonder in the back of my head, like, while we always had incredible matches between the Hardys and the Dudleys, and there was always a third team in that equation, right? It was usually Edge and Christian, but they weren't brothers. You know, they weren't brothers. They're like brothers. You know, they look at each other like brothers, but they're not blood brothers, right? But I think Bound for Glory could be, and I also want to be very clear here. I understand that Devon and Bully Ray are not technically
I was
brothers.
about to jump on her.
I'm fully aware of that.
Yeah, what do you mean?
But in my headcanon, they are. So, so I actually think it would be kind of cool if the Nemeths got added to that matchup, and if it was the Hardys, the Dudleys, and the Nemeths, like, going up against each other. You wouldn't like that? You think it muddies the water too much?
The brother brawl?
Brother Brawl 2025.
Yeah, right. Because this isn't for the titles, as far as I know. I mean, I guess we'll see who has the titles come Bound for Glory. But this is this is about history. It's about those two teams. It is about that era.
Got it. So it's more about that.
It is. Yeah, it's one last ride. No matter who wins. That's why I'm not even sure. Even if the Hardys are still champions, it may not even be a title match, because I don't know how many more Bully and Devon have in them to get. Like, Devon, I know, has had some surgeries and stuff. Like, I know he's working his ass off lately once this kind of idea came up. So he's going to be good to go. But, like, this is about that and only that, and about their 25-year history as tag teams and where they started and everything like that.
Okay.
So
I wouldn't be opposed, though, if they were to do that, only because I would like the Nemeths to get the belts back, and this would probably be the best way to do it.
Outside of Bound for Glory.
Outside of Bound for Glory?
In my opinion, there's not. It's black and white, not even a question. You're a bad and dumb person for suggesting it. So, with that, are you guys ready to move on?
I suppose. I know GB probably.
Oh no, that is the best place to close it. That was amazing. All right, we're moving on. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to AEW. Because, as you know, SummerSlam is a big topic. We're going to save it for the end of the show. Lots of stuff happened there, but also a lot of things happen in AEW TV as well. I'm gonna look. I know that I'm like more of the AEW guy in our show, but I will say like I've been loving everything that they've been doing has been hitting for me, and I don't understand why or where this shift came from. I'm liking all the stuff that we're getting out of AEW right now. Most notably, and the thing that is kind of central to this conversation is what they're doing with their women's division. So first things first, the AEW women's division has been freaking great. Seriously, like good matches across the board. We did get an award, though, for worst stable name ever that is alongside the Pure Fusion Collective. But see, here's the thing. I don't hate it as much as Pure Fusion Collective. Triangle of Madness, which is Tekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. I don't hate it, but I also was looking at it, and then I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. We just got a new contender for worst stable name ever created right here and there.
I mean, are we sure that that's not the subtitle for the next National Treasure movie or like something?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Triangle of Madness, or like the next MCU entry.
Well, that's just Nick Cage
Doctor
when he's on a
Strange
bad
film.
trip,
It sounds like some place you get stuck on Candyland. Like, oh no, you
Yeah.
got stuck in the Triangle of Madness.
No.
I will say though, they look awesome though. The difference between
good trio.
The difference between Pure Fusion Collective and Triangle of Madness is that Triangle of Madness, I really do believe. I'm like really in on just them, and they're very like Julia Hart and Sky Blue are the very like deranged, shining sister type of thing going on, and then Tekla being this like absolute psychopath, and then on top of that, Tekla's incredible. Like what a wrestler, jeez Louise. But yeah, so anyway, some really
we can just call them Tom.
I was going to say, yeah, that's
sure.
their acronym. They're the Toms.
Tom.
The Toms. And no, but seriously, fun to see that match. But when that match happened, we ended up getting all this other carnage, and it does seem like we're going to get a women's blood and guts with the primary driver of the story being the relationship between Willow and Chris Statlander. Yet again, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because they set it up very nicely on Collision. So that was pretty cool. Are we all pumped for women's blood and guts? I think it's about damn time.
This if it is right, if it does go there, that would be the first time ever, right?
I believe
or did they do
so.
One? Like I wouldn't surprise me if I totally have forgotten one, but I believe it would be, and I think it's.
I don't. Yeah,
they've done all kinds of like women's street fights and first bloods, and like I know like all kinds of like awesome hardcore matches.
There's not been
with women.
No, there's not. No women's blood and guts specific match, but there is. Right. I guess I just looked it up right now. A lot of people are running with the prevailing theory that we're running with, which is that there will be a women's blood and guts, and not to get too into the backstage stuff, normally we don't like to do that, as we like to mention, but Tony Khan did go on like publicly and say that he has the AEW women's tag titles ready, and he is just waiting for the right moment to do it. So I think maybe a women's blood and guts match kind of prompts all these teams to come together, and then it creates, all this carnage. And if they do have a women's tag titles, I guess the question for our community, but also for you two, I want to see, who do you think wins that? Who should be the first AEW women's tag team champion? Because you got some really good options.
Yeah, you do.
Like really good options. Like you can go Megan Bain, Penelope Ford. That's one choice. You can go TJ, right? With their team, because they've been a group for a while. Triangle of Madness, the Toms can have an opportunity to shine. Tom can finally be at the top of the mountain. And then you have Willow and Chris Statlander potentially being one team.
I'm going to see a team of Mina Shirakawa and Harley Cameron.
Yeah, that would be
I think that would be a fun team.
That would be good.
I think that would be a fun team.
That would be the show.
Wasn't on my radar, but wow, now that you've said it,
Yeah, I was just trying to think of like a random pairing that would be a lot of fun. Who's like not doing a whole lot.
Didn't
From our mouths to creative ears.
Because my first thought was Harley Cameron and her puppet, but then I was like,
she needs a partner, you know.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Harley Cameron show up recently? She like interfered in one of the matches to save the day. I forget which one it was, but she was wearing a face
She
mask.
she interfered in the women's casino gauntlet.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe Harley Cameron is the fifth woman, and it's not Chris Statlander. And you know, there's a lot of directions they can go there with that for sure. It doesn't seem like it's all cut and dry. Yeah. So Matt, who do you think would win the AEW Women's Tag Championship if they do it?
Depends on where they want to go. Like, as we always say, with stories and stuff like that, where do you want to go out of that? Because while you can think of, oh, this team's worked so hard, or this team's just getting established, I think everything should be based in narrative and story. So where do you want to go off of that? So do you have a heel team that needs that rivalry? Maybe a babyface wins and then they can come after them. Stuff like that. But that said, without anything concrete in play, I really do like the new group, the Toms, baby. I do think Julia Hart got, I don't want to say shortchanged, because sometimes things don't work out, but on her TBS title run, and I really like her, and I do think Tekla is an incredible addition to the women's roster. So I just think they have a cool vibe, a cool look. They're all young, hungry, incredibly talented. And I think it would be a cool way to establish those titles.
And I think there's a really cool like narrative bit too. You mentioned a Julia Hart bit. I mean, she lost to, I think it was Willow, to drop the belt to Willow, so that Willow then lost to Mercedes. And I kind of would like, this whole thing that if it is the Toms who were to do it, they would beat Willow and Chris, and then maybe Tekla goes and gets the TBS title from Mercedes, right? And then you kind of get a little bit of that like establishment of the faction, as we always like to talk about. I think it should be pretty exciting. There, I think, is a variety of different ways this can go. But Jake, you said Harley and Mina Shirakawa.
I'm just trying to think of somebody that'd be like a team that'd be fun to watch.
It would be great. That would be an awesome team. I mean, I think there really is. For me, it was Willow and Chris. I think Willow and Chris both, like they've held singles titles. They've had that success, so it could work out. And there's also that story there with them already.
And they have great chemistry.
And it feels like it'll be a good way to kind of celebrate two women who I think really have defined the AEW women's division, by crowning them the first ever AEW women's tag champs. Could be kind of cool. We had an awesome match between Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. Can we talk about how I really liked where they put it in the show when I was watching it, because they did the match in the middle of the show and they did it that way. And I was reading a lot of the conversation online about it. And at first I was like, oh, why are they doing this in the middle? It tells us that nothing's like really going to happen. But then I realized, oh no, they're doing it in the middle because it's going to take a lot of time. And they actually milked a lot of that time. And it was like that whole, like, this match is going to go until it's over type of thing, which I really liked. How have you guys been?
Also,
yeah, go for it.
Have we ever talked about, again, this is more inside baseball, but have we ever talked about on the show, main event is a huge spot, right? But so is what they call crossover.
Oh, what's
we
that?
We ever talked about that?
No, I don't think so.
Crossover is there's a segment. There's usually, and when Raw is 3 hours, when it was, there were 2. It's the crossover from hour 1 to hour 2.
Okay.
And it's actually incredible. That's usually your second, if not your first biggest match, because that, with terrestrial TV, to be fair, somebody's switching through the channels after their show ends, and they go, "Oh, what's on this channel?" And
CBS,
so it's a good chance to catch viewers, because you're either going to hold them, hold them that are already watching to keep them watching into hour 2, so it counts into your rating.
Yeah.
So you held them hour 1 to hour 2, or you're bringing in more people because they're flipping to your show after their show ended, and they're seeing you're in the middle of something. So it's a really important segment when you cross over, usually in the middle of a show from hour 1 to hour 2.
Wow, that's actually pretty dope. I didn't know that. So I would imagine that also helps AEW quite a bit, because you just had your world championship match in between hour 1 and hour 2. And boy, oh boy, they delivered. But Hangman retained. So he retained. But what I liked was this is it. Death Riders are done. They're no longer involved in the title picture anymore. Jon Moxley is now, well, almost got killed by Darby Allin on Collision on Thursday, because he almost threw him off of a fence onto the train tracks, which is a thing that a normal person does with a well-adjusted mind. Darby Allin seemingly needs therapy. But it was the indicator, like, that's where we're going there. So that's cool. We also ended up getting some establishment of some some big matches rather, for Forbidden Door. We know that Toni Storm will be taking on Athena. That match is going to be amazing. And then just confirmed Swerve Strickland versus Kazuchika Okada. Oh my God. That is also going to bang. Yeah, I mean, how are you guys feeling about AEW right now? Like overall, have you guys been keeping up with it like closely?
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. They're in a good place.
Like, I'm not crazy, right? Like they're hitting, right? Like I'm not crazy. I'm not some fanboy.
I think I think that they're in the beginning stages of like setting up their future stories, and I like where everything's going. Yeah, I think they're doing well.
Yeah, it's
especially after All In. I mean, it's easy to. I mean, we saw it with WWE. It's easy to hit that, that kind of lull.
Yeah.
In the in your storytelling, when you just have had what's essentially a season finale in a way. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But they're doing pretty good. They hit the ground running with most of the stuff they're trying to do.
Yeah, and there's also the tag tournament as well that's going to go into Forbidden Door. And I can't but help that there's some. Wait a minute, hold on a second. There's some fantasy booking that we can have here, because all I know is this, right? When MJF got, yeeted out of the Hurt Syndicate, I've been seeing a lot of people say it's a little too early. Why would they do this? This happened so soon. But I can't help but wonder that maybe, just maybe, there might be something there with MJF. Maybe something there, Matt, with his old stablemates in the Pinnacle. FTR, potentially. Like, I feel like something interesting can happen in that direction. And it is going to be very MJF heavy for AEW for the next few months.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, when he's got that contract, and I mean, they're going to ride that Happy Gilmore 2 media as far as you can take it.
WWE is as well, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah. Yes.
Becky literally mentions it on TV the other day. And then also, I can't imagine, has that ever happened before? Because I don't recall like two wrestlers from opposite promotions promoting the same movie at the same time. I don't recall that ever happening. That's very
back in the day with WCW. I don't think they ever had two guys in the same movie.
Nope.
Or whatever.
That's wild.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Except Nikki Bella, as we learned. Shame. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, go on. What were you going to say, Matt?
No, yeah. I think we are going to get a lot of MJF. We're obviously getting to MJF Hangman at some point. I would think that's going to be, maybe that's a Full Gear kind of thing. I don't know. I'm a little surprised at the Athena Toni Forbidden Door.
Okay. In what way?
Because I thought that was going to be a bit of a bigger match when it happened, and Forbidden Door just does not feel as big as it used to in the past. The New Japan doesn't have the strength they once had, and half of them are now AEW anyway, and so like it just feels like an extra pay-per-view. It doesn't feel like an All Out even or an All In. One of their major pay-per-views. It feels like a neat side quest, with some outside players. So I was kind of surprised. I thought maybe at the earliest they would do like All Out with Toni and Athena, because I thought I legitimately assumed they were gonna wait and then pull the trigger on Athena. but now I don't think so. And if they did, it would be very shocking to me to do it at Forbidden Door.
I think that the reason why they're doing this, and I could be wrong, but they just picked up Alex Windsor, who kind of got inserted into this story with Toni, Athena, and her minion Billy Starks. And because of that, I can't help but feel like maybe there's an opportunity for them to put the Ring of Honor Women's World Title on Alex Windsor, but for Athena to hold the AEW Women's Title at the same time doing that might not be a good shout. But I can see something happening with Athena, because they're really building up to Athena just being this threat, unlike anything that Toni's ever faced, because of her O-face move, right? Like they're really building that up as like a that's it, like it hit Toni, she lost. Like anyone who gets hit by it, they lose. It's like a really well protected move. So it's very clear they're trying to like sell this this like Athena is this really, really big threat, right? Which I think is smart, and you have to. But I also do feel like they're gonna need to remove that title from her eventually. And with Alex Winter coming in, I think she might be a good candidate to do that. Because I thought maybe it was going to be Thunder Rosa, but I didn't really see what they would do with Thunder Rosa with the Ring of Honor world title. Whereas with Alex Windsor and she being a new face in the company, I think that could actually be, they've used the Ring of Honor title to kind of get certain personalities over, whether it's the men's or the women's titles. And they did it with Kyle Fletcher. They did it with Mark Briscoe. They did it with Eddie Kingston. So I think, they'll find a way to do it here, I think, with Alex Windsor. So that I guess kind of addresses that, but I do understand what you're saying. Like Athena, Toni Storm is a big match, right? Do you think that they're kind of losing all the steam with this one, or could they get something else down the line? Like is it kind of like a one and done for you?
Of course, no. You always can. Everything, as we always say, everything comes down to the story, to the creative. Can you get back there? Just because somebody's wrestled before doesn't mean it's not going to be a bigger deal if you book it again. I just thought they were with keeping her streak going so long, at least until the Mercedes match, but like the dominance of her, I thought they were going to kind of just keep it rolling into a world title win, but I guess they don't have to. Yeah. I just thought they would.
Yeah, man, I don't disagree with that. We'll see what happens with that one. Should be exciting. And then Jake, Swerve Okada, that is going to be an excellent match. And it seems like Swerve now said in a promo, he's like, hey, I there's a new belt. So I want the new belt. That was kind of the justification for it. Is that what you want to see for the unified title? You just want to continue to see these like big marquee kind of like wrestlers who can go type of matches? Where do you see them going with the unified title?
Yeah, we have to continue to legitimize the title. I mean, and if you can't do that with a good name, which we haven't, then you got to do it with the matches that are being built around them. So,
I do like that.
Yeah, I mean,
still carrying both of the belts though. Don Callis, he's still walking around with the Continental and the International title. So,
well, of course he is. That's not surprising at all. He's carrying defunct titles around like he's something. Is the most Don Callis thing I could ever think of. I just like, I mean, look, keep establishing the title. I mean, what I really want to see is the title actually get defended more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my biggest issue with it right now is like, I just don't feel like we see Okada defend it that much.
Yeah.
And I want to see that happen more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just think that's the biggest thing is I just want to see the title defended more for it to, but I guess at the same time, like if you're not going to, you need to establish that at least like it's coveted, right? And so have bigger names going after it and that sort of thing. If you're not going to defend it often, at least have it be a coveted prize that big names want to get.
Yeah, yeah. And well, that big name is Swerve Strickland, and oh boy, that should be a really good matchup. Also, we had some other developments with Christian Cage. He got hit with a concerto by Nick and Kip Sabian. Well done, Nick and Kip.
My favorite thing this week. My favorite. That was my legitimately one of my favorite things for me. I was hoping we were going to talk about it. I was going to let it go if not, but Yeah, no, one of my favorite things going on is the kind of weird wayward journey of Christian Cage post family squabbles.
Yeah.
As well as, because now he's an asshole without a country. And meanwhile, it's doing a very good job of establishing Nick Wayne, who I think is worthy of it and is living up to it. So I love seeing him come out, the little double boom, dropping Christian Cage. You know, they put that Ring of Honor title on him, which I don't put a ton of stock in many of the Ring of Honor titles because of the way they've been used. Like, sometimes they're important, sometimes they're not, and stuff like that.
Yep.
But either way, it did give him a little bit of legitimacy. And now seeing him drop Christian, the concerto and everything, it builds him up as a threat. And he's just somebody who I've watched come in. Like, I watched him before AEW, watched him come in, and I was like, oh, it's cool that he's getting, and to see him continue to like rise to occasion and feel into that role and grow into the character of this heel that he's been, more and more convincing, more and more conviction in what he does. And so like, it's just like Nick Wayne is becoming one of the guys. Like I see that future there, and this kind of feud, this kind of story, I think is really good for him. Yeah. And like I said, I love the kind of wayward journey of Christian, because like, sure, the turn on him by default in Wrestling 101 makes him like a good guy now, but he's not.
No,
he's very much not. He's still a prick, and he's going to have to reform or whatever, whether it's Cope or whoever is going to finally eventually lend him a hand. It's not going to be the classic, like, I've got your back, buddy. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like that it's complicated.
Be a prick for good.
Yeah, be their scumbag, right? Like MJF when he was their scumbag. I do very much like what they've done with Nick Wayne. To your point about the Ring of Honor titles, I have appreciated how they have just used the Ring of Honor titles really to just kind of like tell their TV viewing audience, like, hey, this person's good, you know, like, pay attention, they have a title, they're good, you know. And while whether or not that's like the way it should be or not, I obviously is always up for a debate and conversation, but it's kind of like the reason why I said the whole Alex Winter thing, right? Because she can go and win that title and really establishes her, especially if she beats someone like Athena potentially, right? And then for Nick Wayne in this case, it was that, but also he went to Battle of the Super Juniors as well, I believe, and he did pretty well over there too. So they played off of that incredibly well. I like that whole thing when he was like, Nick Wayne went off to go fight, in Japan. And then they showed footage of Nick Wayne's matches in Japan. They showed footage of Kevin Knight's matches in Japan. And I actually really like that. I want more of that. And I hope that they continue to just like build up, for New Japan to the American viewing audience, like, hey, G1 Climax is going on, right? Like Battle of the Super Juniors is going on. Obviously there's a lot more to it than that, but I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I like the prospect of Nick Wayne and his whole journey, and then also what happens with Christian and Edge as well, or Christian and Cope and Cage and Cope. Whatever happens there, I think could be fascinating, because it has to come down the pipeline eventually, right? There's no. Why would you not do that? And you're kind of seeing it all like being laid out right now, like with Edge and Cope having his problems with FTR. You're seeing where it's going. You're seeing where it's going. So I'm excited for that. It should be pretty dope. Kyle Fletcher is the new TNT champion, and Kyle Fletcher earned that shit, because that was, oh man, like poor Kyle. I don't know, why didn't anyone tell Kyle Fletcher he was in a street fight? Because my guy rolled up wearing underwear, and then before you know it, he's got thumbtacks up his ass, like, and also on his twig and berries as well. It was crazy. That was a wild matchup. But I will say, like, I know we oftentimes criticize going to those types of extremes for those types of matches. But I will say, for the sake of what it was, and for a Dustin Rhodes' short run as TNT champion, I was fine with him. It was a Dustin match. It worked very well for him. But Jake, now that Kyle Fletcher is TNT champion, first thing, when do we get the pink title? Secondly, where would you like to see him go as TNT champion? Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah, because I sneezed a minute ago. I think that I want to see him establish himself as a champion. I think he's gone on a pretty decent losing streak kind of recently, and I want to see him start to establish himself as a threat.
Yeah.
Even more so by going on and winning some of these matches. And I want him to see, I want to see him be like the arrogant champion who's like, yeah, I'll put this on the line at any time because there's no one can touch me.
Yeah.
I'm that damn good.
Yeah.
And I want to see him, I really want to see him winning this title, like really get to his head even more, but also see him back it up more, because that seems like something that would be big for his character. It seems perfectly suited for him to do, to kind of just be this arrogant champion heel.
Yeah.
And that's really the direction that
an arrogant champion heel who wins, who fights, who isn't just always hightailing it back to the Don Callis family, I think.
Yeah. And maybe, and maybe even to his own detriment at sometimes, where he's just, maybe even Don is like, kid, I respect that you want to be, this champion, but like, you can't be a champion if you don't have the title.
Yeah.
And you need to hold on to the title some more. He's like, and then maybe you can start to see later, down the road, some friction between him and Don Callis, where he breaks off on his own to do his own thing, even still as a heel, or, I'm not sure. There's so many different ways that you can go with that.
Really? Because, Matt, one person I was thinking about in this, because Don Callis' family is now swooping up a lot of gold. There and it feels like that is just Don's whole thing, right? He wants to get all the gold. He wants the Don Callis family to be the premier faction.
Even if it's not being used anymore, he wants
all the gold, right? And he wants the Don Callis family to be the premier faction in AEW. So we're leaning back into our AEW faction wars stuff, which I love.
He's going to walk out with the FTW title.
Yeah, he's going to bring it off. He's going to show up with the All Atlantic title out of nowhere. It's going to be crazy. But I guess one person that kind of pops in my mind in all of this is one of the newer additions to the Don Callis family. Josh Alexander. He's kind of been swirling in the background a little bit, but you got Don Callis getting his boys all his titles. I could easily see Alexander being in a position like, hey man, I joined this to get gold and you are actively preventing me from getting gold. Like I don't know, because I do feel like Josh Alexander's kind of, since he's come, he's been really, really low key, incredibly quiet. And we're due for something there. Would you like to see maybe there be some more inner turmoil between the Don Callis family for Kyle Fletcher to deal with as TNT champion? Or would you prefer if it was like someone from the outside, like a Kyle O'Reilly or something like that?
I mean, if you're asking, do I want to see Josh Alexander wrestle Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title? Good God, yes. And I say that selfishly, knowing Josh and knowing how good he is and having worked with him. So, and I 100% agree. Look, go out there, make your money. But yeah, he's been very kind of under the radar with it. He's just kind of he's a bit of a henchman at the moment.
Feels purposeful now.
I hope so. And I hope it is a thing of like, all right, when's mine? You keep finagling all your guys to get, when's mine? And maybe he does. And maybe they do heel their way and he stays a heel and gets, I don't know, a Ring of Honor title or something. Or maybe he has had enough and the walking weapon walks and stands on his own. You know what I mean? and steps up to someone like Kyle Fletcher. And so, because I think that's what Josh Alexander's had some good matches, but he hasn't had like the match.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? He hasn't had a standout. His debut was pretty damn good, but like a featured high profile, like whether it's pay-per-view or a big Dynamite match. And I think even if it was a losing effort to like a Kyle Fletcher, let them go out on pay-per-view at freaking Forbidden Door, All Out, Full Gear, whatever. And like, you will get a classic, and you will have a lot of people going, oh, this is the Josh Alexander I heard about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how to get there story-wise, but I'm just a selfish prick who wants to see it.
Yeah, I think they very well could, if because it does feel like Josh Alexander has been laying low in the background, and I'm hoping that means that they're now going to start doing some stuff now that things are kind of been more established in in these directions, especially with Kyle Fletcher holding the TNT title, Okada holding the the unified title, and I was even thinking as well, like, this whole relationship between like Stokely and MJF and, Stokely and FTR. And I thought about MJF in that equation as well, and how that can all play out. Like, MJF's got to get his title some way, right? And he said he wasn't going to do it by using the contract. He wanted to do it by like getting a match on his own. Maybe going to a Don Callis to get him that match might be a possibility without him using the contract. Which I would like that, by the way. I know that seems weird, but I wouldn't mind it if it was a situation where like MJF challenged Hangman for the title, lost in a losing effort, and then right after was like, I'm reactivating this contract. Yeah, and then wins it that way. I actually wouldn't hate that, because that would be like a really shitty scumbaggy move to do.
Or if he got the match and then got himself immediately disqualified. By just beating the shit out of him and then using his contract.
Yeah, just like viciously attacking his nuts, just going after it nonstop. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would do. Screw chair shots to the back. Just give me a chain and just
a good old stomp to the nuggets for you.
That's all you got to do.
Give me a Happy Gilmore 2 sponsored golf club to the nuts.
That's it. Perfect. Have you guys seen Happy Gilmore 2? By the way,
I have not watched it.
I think I never was really into it, but I might give it a whirl just because I heard MJF is actually pretty funny in it. Like he just plays himself. He just plays himself, right. and it's pretty good. Do you see the men's world championship being defended at Forbidden Door? Like, is it like who would it be? Who steps up in this instance?
I feel like that'll be a feature, not a story match. A top guy from New Japan.
I think. Who would you like that to be?
Adam Page is in his like, I want to give opportunities to like people who earned it, and great. He's in his baby face. Like, I want to give people opportunities. So I feel like somebody from New Jersey could it be Zack Sabre Jr.? Could it be? Could be.
He is the current world champion, the IWGP world champion, right?
Right. So I don't see them, but like, you never know. They might have a good old champions versus champions. That's always an attraction. You know what I mean? It could be Yota Tsuji, maybe. I think, did Goto get hurt? I don't know. But someone like that. I mean, again, they've lost a lot of their like top guys.
Yeah.
So, but I do feel like it'll be a kind of like an honor, a match of respect with a top babyface.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the question of Tanahashi's on his John Cena tour. Did they announce him doing something for Forbidden Door? I don't think so, right?
I don't know. I know he showed up a while ago, but it was nothing really, like, he just showed up mostly just like establish himself, but that was about it. Not too sure. So yeah.
So I mean, you could see something like that. You know what I mean? As he's winding down his stuff, trying to do as much high profile matches as I would imagine they can with him. So I don't know.
Yeah, you mentioned Yota Tsuji. That actually would be kind of cool to see him go with Adam Page. Yeah, I think that actually be a pretty sick match. We'll see what happens. Yeah, but you're right. I think it's going to be more of a feature rather than like a big story, because you got some good stories going into this one. So you might not need to lean too heavy in that direction. And that takes us to our last topic of the day, and that is all the things that happened with WWE this weekend and yesterday with Monday Night Raw. SummerSlam. Oh boy, 2-night SummerSlam event. First things first, how'd you guys feel about the 2-nighter? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Thoughts?
I was fine with it.
You were fine with it? You were fine with it?
So I will echo what some people have said. So going into it, we talked about it. I'm like, it didn't feel. I mean, necessary is not the point. Money is the point. So I get it. They filled the stadium 2 nights in a row. So cha-ching.
Yeah. Job done.
That said, I will echo what a lot of people said overall, with some dips here and there. I think SummerSlam did 2 nights better than Mania did this year, generally speaking.
Yeah,
I do think there were better matches. I do think there was a little bit more maybe hype. I don't know. I enjoyed Mania this year for sure, but I think SummerSlam delivered a little bit better than Mania did in that same kind of spot. So while I agree, I'm like, do we need it? No. I think this, for the first one, I think it did work.
Yeah.
And it did deliver both nights. Overall.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm in the same boat too. Jake, what about you?
I mean, it. I interestingly enough think it had less build and less hype than Mania, and was a far better show. Because I was excited about Mania, and then nothing happened. It felt like
maybe that's more what I'm thinking is like,
and it just was like a letdown. And then I felt like for SummerSlam, I mean, we talked about it last week, where I was just like, oh, yeah, it's SummerSlam. I'm like, I'll have it on. And then I found myself like watching far more of it, like intently than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And I ended up really enjoying it. I thought both nights were great for totally different reasons. Like night one to me was more like, I guess kind of the traditional in the ring kind of focus on action and storytelling to an aspect. And then night two was just a shit show. It was just like, it was chaotic. Like, yes, it was far more chaotic. I mean, like, I don't think there was there a single show on the card on the night 2 card other than Sammy and Karrion Kross that had just like no stipulation? Because I don't think that.
I mean, I guess the tag match, right? Or was that night 1?
That was night 1.
Oh, never mind. Okay. Night 2.
Yeah, because Lyra's match was
Street fight.
Solo Sikoa was a cage match.
Cage, yeah.
But well, Dominic and AJ. Was that a stipulation?
Yeah, that's true. I
think that was a straight match.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jade and Tiffany was a straight match.
But night 2 was a car wreck. You know,
it was lot of chaotic
in a good way, but it was nuts. Night 2.
But interestingly enough, though, not a lot of title changes, which I think kind of called. I think we basically got a majority of these right, except for Lyra Becky. I think we went with Lyra, right? But
I think a lot of us did, yeah.
Yeah, but Becky won, so that kind of keeps Lyra away from the IC title for a little while. But yeah, Solo, Becky, Dominic, Tiffany, and Naomi all retained.
Because I get the not challenging for the title, but I just want to see Lyra be a nuisance to Becky.
Yeah.
She can't challenge for it, but that doesn't mean she can't make her life hell.
True.
Well, and she has motivation too, because I believe the stipulation is as long as Becky's champion, right? So if Becky loses, it pays big dividends to Lyra.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to see that. Yeah, I'd like to see that come into play.
Yeah. It was an overall, like, pretty fun match. I mean, Lyra continuing to build up steam in WWE is very, very exciting, and she continues to be an awesome babyface character that a lot of people are really enjoying watching. So, yeah, I mean, there is a we'll see what
It was
happens.
the
with
third
Wilder.
longest match of the weekend too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Let's talk about the big things, shall we? Because there was a lot on the card. But there were some two big things in particular happened. But also congratulations to Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, who also successfully defended their titles on Raw. That was exciting to watch. They're the women's tag champions, and they looked awesome. That was a fun match, and I really enjoyed that. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Let's start there first, shall we? First things first. Great match. Really enjoyed it. I mean, like, I think it was funny to see how Cody was now getting the John Cena treatment of every time he was going for the big punches and the big moments, it was a boo. So congratulations, Cody. The torch has been passed. That's what I thought the whole time. I'm like, yeah, the torch is passed. Cody's got that John Cena heat on him now. That's it.
The good guy getting booed.
Yeah.
Before we really dive into the match, I want to ask you guys a question, because something happened big that we didn't even get to discuss because it happened on SmackDown.
Oh, yeah.
Where John's just not heel anymore.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about that?
I'm going to say from a narrative sense,
how are we feeling about the choice, and how are we feeling about the execution of it? It would be my question.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I will go and say choice wise, good. I do think the run was falling a little flat. Like I said, I loved it at the beginning. Those first promos after the heel turn after Chamber were great. The ones in Europe and everything like that. His explanations, the fickleness of that was all great. And then after winning the title, we've talked about it, he just turned into Snidely Whiplash and was just like, you suck. I'm going to whatever. Like, you're a big win, and kicking people in the nuts and hitting him with the title. Like, it was... Which I get, he was trying to be as heel as he could because he's John Cena, but yeah, you can't do that for 7 months. So like, good choice. Execution, it's hard. I don't know how you do that well, especially like on a basically one night notice.
Yeah.
So execution, it's like one of those things. It wasn't great. That said, I did enjoy his promo and explanation and the little kind of throwing the rock under the bus. Like it's provocative. You know what I mean? But John delivered it with enough conviction and everything to where like we bought it. I think I buy it. So while it was a bit of a kind of maneuver, we made the turn and we didn't crash the car. But, you know, the tires are skidding a little bit and the hubcap might have fallen off. But the car made it around the turn.
Right.
I'll say that.
I think that they were too afraid to like actually let it be.
You can't half-ass it.
Yeah, they half-assed it.
That was not something that you could half-ass. No. He either needs to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Or you just let him do John Cena's greatest
especially with how they did it, right? I think that's the thing we have to bear in mind here. The heel turn didn't come because John Cena suddenly grabbed the belt and hit Cody. No, it came when The Rock told John Cena to end Cody, and John Cena brutalized and destroyed him. And it was like a complete change of demeanor, of character, of all that stuff. But the problem was that this was happening at a time where people were genuinely excited to see John Cena be back in a wrestling ring. They were genuinely excited to cheer him on again because they did know that he only had like a few more years left, or a year or so left to go. So there was this like, I think that the fans just didn't allow them to be able to, well, I shouldn't say didn't allow, but the fans very much made it challenging for them to go further because it just felt like John Cena can go out there and insult their whole lineage, their families, their ancestors, anyone, and they would still cheer for him. There was no changing that. That said, I think that they should have just they from that point, from that high point, they should have doubled down if this was the direction that they're going. When John Cena was going around talking about wanting to destroy pro wrestling, he should have actually done things that would have helped and contributed to the destruction of pro wrestling. When he came around and said, wow, wouldn't it be a real shame if Logan Paul were to win a championship in WWE, a heavyweight championship? He should have helped Logan Paul win it. I mean, I would have liked it personally because I don't like the guy. But regardless, that was the story that they were trying to tell. So like, commit to your story. Commit to like John Cena wanting to destroy pro wrestling. That was the whole thing, and they backed away. That being said, to Matt's point, wise, because it was very clear they were never going to lean into it. So you might as well have just, if you weren't going to do it right, then don't do it at all. And they chose not to do it at all, and that's okay, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do wonder, though, if it feels like a pivot, and I think it is, but I think it was going to happen anyway. I didn't see them running this heel Cena all the way to the end.
Sure, same.
You had to give him a few months to do a true goodbye, some of these appearances and everything. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be here. Maybe it was supposed to be like post SummerSlam or something. I don't know, but I do feel like they were going to get here eventually, no matter what even if people were like all in booing Cena the entire time.
Yeah.
I think they would have switched some point soon here. But yeah, I think you were swimming upstream.
Yeah.
Already. And with all the to your point where it started and the Cena promo, there's some truth bombs in there of just like, you lost a lot of that impetus. The Rock's gone. The Travis Scott nonsense. Like a lot of it is just those pieces are off the chessboard now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we can't even take advantage of those. So let's just, So I don't know.
Yeah.
We can move on because I think necessary move, no matter which way you put it.
Yeah.
And I'll give it, dude. Did you hear? Of course you did, but like Cena comes out and like gets the reaction, the black, the all dark entrance. But then the minute his colored lights came back on with the beat, that pop was huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they wanted that. We want the bright T-shirts. We want the "You Can't See Me." We want the 5 moves of doom.
People were cheering for the 5 moves of doom.
5 moves of doom.
Crazy, man. If you would have told me 10 years ago people would be losing their freaking mind for the 5 moves of doom, I'd be like, you're insane. There's just no world.
We have to come up. I'm sure somebody has, but we have to come up. The old, and I think it's a Birbiglia thing. What is it? Tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Yeah.
There's got to be a thing for wrestling like shitty plus time equals like over.
Yeah.
It doesn't, if the silliest shit, if you do it for long enough and commit, wrestling truly is a marathon game. If you're pretty good at what you do, if you can connect with people, the dumbest things or the things that people think they hate, it becomes part of who you are. And if you stick around long enough and stay in touch with the crowd or whatever, that's what people love you for. But even if in your prime it sucked.
It also requires commitment, though.
Oh, yeah, it does.
It 100% requires commitment from the person involved. And that was Cena. Cena was committed to whatever they put in front of him.
Very true.
And so I think that's as much of it as anything.
Yeah, well, we went to Cody Rhodes becoming the new undisputed WWE champion to Brock Lesnar coming back. And, okay, so this happened. This was a thing that happened to us as we were watching it. So a couple things first and foremost. I'm gonna just speak for myself here and say like all the discourse for Brock Lesnar, everything like that. Completely, I'm yeah, I completely understand. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and be like, oh, what does this mean? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like having to find factual information and like let people know like what's going on. Like, I don't want to go into all of that in this show here because that's not what we're here for. So I'm going to say that from what we're here for a narrative perspective, this shit was stupid. Like, honestly, I don't get it outside of just you're going to have John Cena and Brock Lesnar fight in another matchup and then that's it. And you know what? Fine. But really? Brock Lesnar will be like the last opponent, if so, for John? Like, really?
No.
Okay, I hope not. Because that's just, like better choices.
It's 100,000%. And I do think there will be a better choice come December. I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right in saying that this is exactly what you think. It's a headline. It is a Brock is a, art from artist conversation aside, is a headline drawing performer in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And is very publicly, John liked working with Brock as in the ring. Wanted him part of, wants him part of this retirement tour. I feel like this is what's Australia? Oh no, France.
Clash in Paris. Yeah.
I feel like maybe this is that, and then I think it's a one-off to check a box for John's retirement tour.
Okay.
A box office attraction in a big show, big market. And I hope I'm right that it's a one-off box office match to tick off the retirement tour. Yeah. I hope he's not sticking around for 4 more months, building to Survivor Series or something. I really hope not.
Yeah.
I hope it's a big international show to draw that audience in.
It just doesn't make sense. Cody just won the title. Why would you come back and fight the guy who lost? Like that doesn't like make sense.
After 2 years away.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Like that part just seemed very silly. So that I was kind of checked out because of that, Jake. But you cannot argue that this is going to be, as to Matt's point, marquee matchup. It's going to be huge, but it is a little off-putting. And I'll be real, I kind of was just hoping to be done with Brock Lesnar overall, just because I was done with him when he left, and that was even before all the allegations came through. I was done with him then because it was the same one-note type of act every single time, which I get people dig, but it wasn't doing it for me personally. What about for you, Jay? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I started to like Brock toward the end of his last run, because the cowboy shit that he was doing, what it seemed like him just kind of having fun, and I just like seeing wrestlers having fun. It like, I think, puts him in a new gear. Story-wise, I don't think I feel as strongly as you do story-wise. Story-wise, it makes a little sense to me because John has a losing record against Brock Lesnar. In singles matches, Brock is 4-2 against John. So he's kind of dominated him. I think their last big match was Suplex City. I'm almost positive.
Oh yeah, probably.
And so I think it's just like them going through the greatest hits of, let's bring out John's biggest enemies.
Yeah.
We did CM Punk, we did Randy, and now let's do Brock.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else is
at
left?
the same time? Right. Yeah. I don't know.
It would be Edge, but he's not
JBL.
Hey.
Yeah.
At this point, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
At the same time, I shouldn't be surprised that they brought him back.
Yeah, like I'm not surprised. I mean, come on, we have to know the company we're talking about here. Like,
yeah, I mean,
come on. Like,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it explains it explains them not doing press conferences anymore
Yeah.
and them starting on
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
It explains that, quite honestly.
Mhm.
It's clear that WWE doesn't want to be held accountable for the things that they're doing or the things that they have
Yeah.
done.
I think it's always funny
And that's
how they
disappointing.
want to be viewed as sport in certain instances, but then and sport requires, you know, journalism and all the other elements that come with like
Integrity.
yeah, we're pro sports, but
Um,
then you know when they want to become
yeah.
theater, it's like very oh yeah, we're gonna chop this off here.
Well,
We still
it's
want you to respect
also
us as for sports, but we're theater. You know, that's kind of
yeah,
weird.
and also stuff like last night on Raw when they had Michael Cole explain that they were like, oh well, Triple H talked to Nick Khan and then they decided to call him and say, oh, I think it's time for you to come home. Oh well, as long as he's okay with it, I guess.
I know.
Um,
It's so
and
that's so
and
absurd.
it's worth being clear that Brock Lesnar is not he is not being sued.
True. This is very true. It's
He
very
it,
important to know.
he is, however, mentioned over 40 times in a lawsuit
Mm-hmm.
in which it is also alleged that he and seemingly only didn't because of circumstance participate in sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Um, I just like and coming off of and coming off of just like having a pay-per-view focused on women
Mm. Mm.
and what a triumph that was.
You spitting, bro.
I don't know, man. It just
Yeah.
I don't know. Um,
Frustrating. It is. It and it's because it doesn't feel like it's I don't know. There's we could go
and nobody wants to take credit for it either because whenever
yeah.
something goes wrong, Triple H is like, "Well, it was Nick's idea. John wanted to do it. It was this." And when it does go right, it's like, "I've had this idea for months, brother. I've had
Yeah.
this is all you
Check it out
enjoying
in
what you're
WWE
watching?
Unreal.
You enjoying what you're yeah."
Yeah.
Uh yeah, so I don't I mean,
At this point, it is what it is. You know, like that
yeah.
really is it. Like it is what it is. You either
What it makes me fear is that this was a test. Is they were bringing back Brock to see what the reaction of people would be to maybe bring back someone worse.
yeah. And I don't think we're talking about Vince. I think it's Del Rio.
Oh,
Mm.
I don't know.
I
I think it is Vince.
I mean,
I
could
think
be. Could be.
I don't think it's the old
I
man.
think it's a I think it's a well. Why are we not? Well, we're not going to put Vince McMahon in the WWE Hall of Fame. We're going to celebrate him for what a great blah blah blah. And
the Hall of Fame thing will happen at some point for
Yeah.
sure, but I don't think
Yeah.
he would come back to work.
I don't think he'll come back as an
they'll
in-ring
have him.
character, or he'll come back as even a figure behind the
Executive and
scenes.
yeah.
No, but I think that they want to whitewash everything.
I think they want to
Well,
whitewash
sure.
it because
And
they
so
have been
so
removing
I-
Vince a lot, and I think they want Vince back in there. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think WWE is a little emboldened and tired of hiding.
yeah, I actually do, unfortunately, feel in a similar way.
Because there's
But-
also something else that they brought up on screen both nights of SummerSlam
Yep.
that they muted the audience for, the live audience for, because it got fucking booed.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'll
Jersey
just leave it at
too,
that.
which I was a little shocking because Jersey's a little bit more lean and red type of joint out there.
Yeah, but it's NYC as well.
It's true too. It is
Right.
it is New
And they
York.
fucking
You're-
hate him.
Yeah, you're
Essentially New York.
Yeah, and we do hate him very much so. So that is true. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll keep it real. I was bummed. I was disappointed. you know, regardless of whether or not it was John Cena's request or Triple H's
It was
request or
shocking
Nick
for all
Khan's
the wrong
request.
reasons.
Yeah, it was shocking for all the wrong reasons. But you know what? This is going to happen. We have a choice to make whether we want to watch or not watch. I mean, for me, and I understand that we, you know, cover all pro wrestling. We cover the storylines here. I've said this before, but I don't actively watch WWE programming like that anymore. I just keep up with the highlights and the storylines, and I make sure I form our discussions based off of that, while at the same time, you know, making sure that we are all, you know, talking about it in a way that, you know, shines light and is positive. But sometimes, you know, you can't. You kind of have to call a spade for what it is. That said, not much more we can really say about this. We're just three knuckleheads at the end of the day.
The match was unbelievable. Like we haven't even talked. It was unbelievable. It's the best that Cena has looked in years.
Yeah. One of the better singles matches he's had in a
I mean,
time.
It was amazing.
It was 37 minutes. It was almost 38 minutes.
Like I watched this match because I was watching it with the Halo boys, and this match, I was like, God, this guys, you got to pay attention. John Cena's throwing down right now. Like it was so good.
Did anybody count the number of
finishers that were kicked out of?
I think I saw like because I was watching, and then I think I saw like a highlight clip that was like, it was like north of like 9 or it was AA City.
Yeah, it was AA City.
Yeah, it was Attitude Adjustment USA is what it was.
Yeah,
and Cody kicked out of all of them that had cut pinfalls after them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, somebody said you went from Super Cena to like, what was it, Colossal Cody or something like that, or whatever, or something like that.
Mecha Cody.
I feel like this match was them making up for WrestleMania. I 100% feel that way.
Very much.
Very much.
You know,
I
they
totally
were like,
agree.
okay, well, we got to not only have a great match here, but let's make it for that other one too. Okay. Yeah. Did you ever? I just imagine them pitching like, what do we want to do in the match? Well, have you ever gotten action figures and just mashed them together a bunch for a long time? Let's do that.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Cody for what can only be the most inverted Cody cutter of all time.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, that was a hard move to have to execute on that turnbuckle. So I will not act like it was weird to kind of get there to begin with, you know? But it was still, I mean, some good moments. I will say this. I'm going to see if I can find the picture of it. But the only part that I was kind of like, on was this one, the lifting him up from the
30-second aura farming. I was okay with it.
You were okay with it? I was like, you do something. Like you're just hanging there. But John's face of pure
look
joy.
at that. They were just like, that was just like, let's do so. You know, that was one where they were like, you know, it would be really cool.
Yeah, honestly,
we went under here and then you came up like, what a shot that would be.
Yeah, you do it for the.
Yeah, you do it for the shot, 100%.
And you know what? Can confirm, shot looked great. So well done.
Like that.
Well done, production. Well done. Yeah, it was a great match. And I think like even all that garbage aside with posts, we should still celebrate what John Cena, firstly, his accomplishments as a professional wrestler and his contributions to professional wrestling are far and wide, but also on top of that, how freaking enjoyable of a match this was. And that's the thing that I think kind of carries us to our second main event. The reason why I want to save it for last, because I think it was better and I think we all can agree here, and that is Seth Rollins. Sorry, not yet. That is Gunther versus CM Punk. And in another breath,
unbelievable.
I was going to say that. It's like we wanted to see when that great CM Punk match was going to come back. When was Punk going to come back and do the damn thing again? And by God it, Jake, he done did it. What a match that was.
It was so good. It was slow and methodical. It was watching two people just torture each other and just beat the ever living hell out of each other. It was so good.
Also, shout out to CM Punk for the NYCFC colors, you know, rocking the light blue and the white. Love to see it.
Yeah.
Wait, the what?
New York City Football Club. Our colors
Wait, are you
Fantastic
blind?
Four, come on.
Oh, was that Fantastic
That's
Four?
Fantastic Four.
He's
you
literally
wow.
dressed like the Thing.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's
I didn't notice that.
clobbering time, motherfucker.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yes,
Because
it's
I
all
mean,
the
entire
Fantastic
inspiration
Four.
for-
it looked like the New York City Football Club colors. Honestly, I was kind of
Yeah.
stoked about that. But okay,
No,
even
it's
better. I'll take
100%
Fantastic
Four. Yeah.
Even better, even better. Man, he does
Yeah.
have the 4 stars there, so I guess that also helps too.
Well, that's
yeah,
Chicago.
exactly.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
looks good. It matches it. You know what I mean? It fits the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, let's talk about this match because we wanted to see a masterclass from Gunther, and we wanted to see CM Punk be in a masterclass with Gunther, and that is literally what we got here.
Look, if you want to see a masterclass with Gunther, just turn on a match he's in.
Yeah,
Like
real,
that
man. The dude's
dude,
insane.
that dude is so good, and he just keeps getting better. I love him just taking his time and talking shit in full sentences to the audience. Like while he's, you know what I mean? He's just like, "Oh, this is the man this is the best in the world. This is the best in the world." Like just him talking shit to everybody, and just like he's so good.
Yeah.
I can't talk enough. I can't say enough good things about Gunther, and he's getting a well-deserved break, it seems. But man, these two beat the hell out of each other, and that's what's so great about Gunther too, is that Gunther comes in here. He looks like a freaking world beater, but also the guy can sell, and he knows how to make his opponents look great. And then you're in there with one of the greatest of all time, and CM Punk. I mean, this was magic.
Yeah.
Like this match was the kind of shit that you watch professional wrestling for, man, because it was such a good story in the ring. It was such a good story outside of it. Oh man. And then for it to end all the way it did.
I will say story outside of it, I wasn't too keen on. It felt pretty straightforward. Right, which I was okay with.
Well, I just mean like
no, but I know what you mean.
I mean the circumstances surrounding it being Punk's like first chance at really winning.
For sure.
You know, it was
good call. Yeah, no,
and
it was great.
That was a 30-minute match as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
the one thing I will give a great ad for the 2-night SummerSlam. The 2 main events very dichotomous.
Yes.
Right? Like you had one that was that, to Jake's point, methodical, slow a little bit. That said, there will be some out there who go, that's a little boring for my taste. It is not typical zoom pro wrestling, but it's really good, like in an old school way. Yeah. And then night 2 had more of the bells and whistles modern WWE main event. Finishers fighting all over the building. You know what I mean? Tables, all this stuff. It had more of the bells and whistles. So like you got 2 really incredible, very different main events.
And they were both allowed time to breathe as well, which I think was a very important part of all of this. Because this isn't like an advocate for 2-night SummerSlam, but if I may present why, you wouldn't have been able to have gotten those 2 big moments. Debate the merits of one of them all you want. Big moments. You wouldn't have been able to do that if it was all on the same night. Yeah, sure, you still will talk about it. Yeah, sure, it'll still be big. But the impact, the way that people were allowed to kind of sit with it overnight and enjoy the moment rather than needing to get ready for the next thing, allowed them to, I think, be able to tell the stories effectively the way that they wanted to, and thus, should lead, theoretically, when we talk about what happened at the end, should lead to, I think, a much more thought out story now that we have a clear direction. Matt, what were you gonna say?
And I think you would both agree with me. To my knowledge, I mean, even I forget where the lineage breaks between the old Big Gold and this one a little bit. But even back in those days, the world title, world heavyweight, whatever you wanted to call it, always felt like title B, right? All that sort of stuff like that. On pay-per-views, it was always in the middle, opener or blah, blah, blah. This is the biggest this title's felt like. Main event, long match, huge moment at the end. Like the cash-ins for the world heavyweight title always seemed like they were like, like again, sneaky little heels coming in at the end of a Raw and doing it. But this one to recreate the Seth heist of the century thing, which was for the big WWE title, the undisputed or universal title, whatever. Just shows, I believe, that this title is on. They're trying to put it on that same pedestal or a similar pedestal to the other world title. I think this is the best example of them doing that so far.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that they have done a wonderful job of making the world heavyweight title feel like a big belt from the get-go. From the get-go. I will say that, because Seth Rollins cared about that belt from the beginning. Was very like upfront, this is the belt that I want. I want my title back, the title that I made famous, right? And him wanting to go for it. And then also like, CM Punk wanting to go for this belt too. How much, he wanted a title in general, but him going after that world title and, it was an accomplishment for him, right? And also he beat Gunther. Which like very few people have been able to do. So like he did the thing, which was
literally, he is only the fourth.
Yes, he's the fourth man to defeat Gunther in his entire time in WWE. That is freaking awesome. So I think they did such a great job with it. Gunther going for that belt.
And it lasted 5 minutes and 41 seconds.
And then it lasted 5 minutes and 41 seconds because Seth Rollins.
That on a Friday night, the world title reign of CM Punk
lasted
nothing was something to be ashamed of and to go home and cry in the back.
Now, I want to talk about this moment. Firstly, the reveal. Now, I didn't know, and you guys can say whether you knew or not. I didn't know that there was already reporting out there that kind of sort of confirmed that like Seth's injury was a work. I didn't know that. So I thought he was out for a couple months.
I did a little bit.
Yeah, I thought he was out for at least 3 months, because he has a history of leg injuries. So like,
and who's to probably blame for the leak?
Ooh.
Is that damn Rue. Their daughter.
Their daughter.
Did you hear about that?
That she had to fake it or something like that? Or
well, so they were telling her, they were like, okay. So Seth was on the Rich Eisen show on Monday. And he also guest hosted it a couple weeks ago because he's been on a few times and he was like, well, I'm injured now, so I got all this time. So he guest hosted like a week or so ago. And he came on and he just had a big smile on his face, and Rich Eisen was like, you son of a bitch. You used us. And he was like, how difficult was it keeping all that under wraps? He's like, well, like I felt bad for my wife because she's having to tell all our friends and her family, yeah, no, he's hurt. And he said, but then when it came to Rue, we had to tell her, look, Dad has a pretend boo-boo. We can't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. And she's like, okay, I won't. He said the next day they got a call from school from her teacher, Miss Joy, and who said, I just thought you might want to know that your daughter is telling me that you're not really hurt and it's a trick. She immediately went and told her preschool teacher. Of
course. Kids are incredible.
And then he said that when Rue came home, it was like nanner, nanner, nanner. Like that's like how she treated it.
Because you know what? She didn't like that he was lying and he was lying about the pretend boo-boo. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So yeah, Rue and Miss Joy, those are the two weak links.
Oh, that was great. That was super funny. Well, look, guys, Becky's hot husband did manage to cash in his money in the bank in an epic moment.
Him tossing those crutches aside. Because when his music came out, I was like, okay, cool. At least we're getting a moment. And then when he stopped and tossed those things to the side, I was like, don't you tell me that you've been lying to us, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And then like every part of it was executed so perfectly.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was great.
And now for better or for worse or whatever, now you will question every injury for the next 2-3 years. Yes. Yeah. Like anytime, real or not, you're going to wonder, Are they? Could they come back tomorrow?
How do you feel about that, Matt? Like, are you, or do, as a wrestler, because I was thinking about this, because I know, like, we like to know about wrestler injuries and stuff like that. For me personally, just because I want to, hopefully the wrestlers that I enjoy watching are okay, you know, and that they're fine and healthy and safe. But I can also see why some wrestlers might not want to make that a thing and reveal that to the public, and might want to go with the more, you know, a kayfabe approach here. What's your read on that, Matt, with your experience as a professional wrestler?
I love it.
Yeah, you do?
I love it. Yeah,
okay,
I think it's awesome. I mean, look, it's
That's
entertainment
the
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's entertainment at the end of the day, and we're trying to give surprising moments and stuff like that. Here's the thing. Like, the one downside is the idea of when somebody gets really hurt, you have a bunch of people going, it's probably a word. It's probably fake, right? Which seems kind of insensitive or rude.
Yeah.
But
that's my
honestly,
fear.
Honestly, that happens anyway. That happens regardless. Even if we didn't pull this kind of thing off, it's people will always go, well, wait, is it a work? So like the fact that they did it and it was believable to the point where, and it kept it tight enough to where this worked, I think is awesome. I really do. Because there are so many times too, we do have to get clever in this day and age. There's so many times where people do injuries and like, you can tell the minute they do it, where the way they handle it, whether it's like they don't move them right away, the doctor doesn't come in or like something like that. Like,
and you can also hear people's voices too when they talk about it, like on air or something too. Like,
yeah, it's always a different kind of tone.
And so the way they did it was really, really good. How quickly they did the LA Night match. They just went to the finish and all this stuff and react. I don't know. They pulled it off very well, and I love it. Yeah. So it's so hard to keep things tight these days. I think it's great.
I wonder if they really were concerned he was hurt, and then they got good news and they were like, well, what if we just ran with it?
That could also have been a possibility too.
Because he did, he legitimately did go see the doctor in Birmingham.
Yeah, and it really did look like he tweaked his leg. I mean, it really did. Like, watching it back, they're great acting, it
could just be that he's that good.
I've hurt my leg in because I've had a messed up leg for many years in my life from football. And, like, even basic steps sometimes kind of fucks up my ankle. So, like, and he's obviously doing way more than my silly ass is doing. So, I don't know. Matt, what you're laughing over there?
Yeah, no, just like a little bit, because I'm like, I did hear some of the rumors, like, right after, what was it, Saturday night's main event or whatever, saying that, like, it wasn't that bad and they're looking for a reason to get Seth off TV for a minute. And so I watched the clip, and I did, like, maybe it's just being in the ring and everything. I was, if that really, he did it off the moonsault.
Yeah, he did it off the moonsault.
And like, he sold it like a wrestling sell at first. He landed perfectly and then did the jump, kind of grabbed his, the ones that are real, you just kind of, you buckle. You just go. And you ignore it. Cause you're like, no, I'm fine. I just gotta shake it. Like, I just gotta get through it. I'll be okay. Real pain, you try to ignore. So like, it was a little bit of an oversell. I was like,
okay.
And then he calmed it down and tried to play it more subtly, which he did well. But like, I'm not gonna be like I told you, but I had a little bit of a moment.
That's why I love having you on the show.
I see the sell. I saw the sell a little bit where I'm like.
It gives us such good perspective. Okay. It really does, because you've seen all of these things happen over the course of your career. So you are. It's like with me or esports, or with Jake with, like, writing or wherever the case may be. Like, we can identify these little things. It's like, oh yeah, I've done this. I know what this is, and you can kind of like bring the truth in that instance. That's pretty cool. I honestly, I was like, oh man, this sucks, dude. I'm such a big fan of Seth. Like, man, he's that freaking leg. It's always been a problem. Well done. But yeah, so Seth Rollins cashes in dramatic fashion, pulls off the unthinkable, ... again, just as you see down there. And I think this couldn't have come at a better time for WWE. I think that it's very clear that people are very much not interested, or not, I shouldn't say not people aren't interested. People are very polarized on the result of the Cody Cena match, and of course Brock. There's been, people have been kind of, and I know I felt a little like, I'm not like too into what WWE's doing right now. Some of it's good, some of it's okay, but this has been great. And now we get Seth Rollins as World Heavyweight Champion. And let's just cover this real fast before we close out for the day, because stuff went down on Monday Night Raw. A lot of stuff went down because we got our new heavyweight champion, Seth Rollins, who came out, but in comes LA Knight, the guy who he kind of screwed. And then I like that LA Knight was like, yeah, then you went in there, took a BFT anyway. And, I give you credit for that, but no, you're not running away from me. Like, I want my title. And now LA Knight is put into this story here, but it also involves Punk. It also involves Roman Reigns as well. I mean, does Roman fight for the world heavyweight title? Surely that happens. Do these three men try and can they coexist to take down the Vision, right? Like all this stuff. I mean, it's very clear we got a lot of cool directions we're going to go in. It seems like first step, right, Jake, is going to be a 6-man. It seems like that's going to be our first step here, right? Because, the 3 into 3 kind of all works out that way. But who's the one? Who's the one who shines out of this? And who's the one who takes that belt from Seth?
I hope it's LA Knight.
Not Punk.
No, I kind of hope it's LA Knight. Look, I feel like I was refreshed to see him come out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, at least it's not going to be the same old usual suspects. And at least like we are getting it's continuity, right? It's my guy, we were in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
And you faked an injury. And technically, I won that match. So the last person to beat you is me. And the next person to beat you will be me. I like that. And LA Knight is still over. He still gets a huge pop when he comes out.
Yes.
People love seeing him. He's still so entertaining on the mic. And I'm glad to see him in this story, in this picture, because putting him with these big main event names is something we should have seen more of a long time ago, I think. But I just but
we're there now.
I think LA Knight, I think LA Knight can be positioned as a great baby face during all of this. Like he's just got that kind of stone coldish attitude as a face.
Yeah.
He just comes out there and talks his shit, wants to kick some ass, and he does it as good as anybody. Like, I hope that this means we're going to see him more involved in the main event picture.
Yeah.
And I want look, we still have time for Roman and Seth. I'm sure it's probably going to be WrestleMania next year is my guess, is what it's all ultimately building to. But we have been so close so many times to.
But why not let it
LA
be
Knight
LA
really
Knight?
being over?
Why
That's
not
what
let
I'm
it be
saying.
LA Knight at Mania?
That's what I'm saying.
Why not? I honestly think you want to. He's due for one. Yes. Like he's got it. Like he's got it. I think that people would be more than ecstatic for it. And also too, if what I think is going to happen will happen, and when Gunther does inevitably return, I think we're going to run Cody Gunther back for certain. Because remember, Cody beat Gunther at Crown Jewel, right? I believe it was Crown Jewel, winning that whole unified title or whatever that was gimmick thing that they don't talk about anymore. But there's history there between the two of them. So I would like, maybe Gunther to be like, hey, I want to get my revenge.
Can take that title too.
He'll find a way. Don will find a way. He'll fly to Saudi Arabia himself and pull that from the prince's hands. He don't give a crap. No, but I agree. It's just about time that LA Knight's in this picture. Roman and CM Punk are in there too.
And Punk will have another chance too.
But this is a long reign though, right?
I feel like it probably.
Okay.
Probably
sorry.
is,
What were you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm always an advocate for like, let's bring someone else up. Let's build someone else. I don't think you can ever have too crowded of a title picture.
Yeah.
Like let more people get involved. Like, switch them in and out. Yeah, I mean,
Might
that's
as well.
just
The
yeah.
talent's there.
I
Might as well
like
take
seeing
advantage of it.
new characters established in something, whether it be wrestling or be it something else. And like when you grow to and seeing how people have grown to this character and become attached to, I want to see payoff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people feel the same way. Matt, what about you? Where do you see this going for LA Knight? And can you see gold around his waist come WrestleMania time? Or is this Roman getting that world heavyweight title, kind of rounding it out? What do you think?
So the one advantage Roman and Seth have is that they have so much history, right? So come WrestleMania time, the other thing is too, not everything has to be built around WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Right.
But as a tentpole, if we're thinking like that, they have so much history. They could have a grudge match. You could put them in a Falls Count Anywhere, or a WrestleMania street fight, or just a huge singles match, and it would be a main event, right? So they don't have to have a title. So you could, if you wanted to pull the trigger on like night, you do it at Survivor Series, or what I mean. Sometimes we need to make these other big events bigger, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? SummerSlam is turning into that, but like, let's have a title change at the Rumble. Let's have a title change. And that's hard to do because I know we do long-term booking with, Rumble winners and stuff, but still have a title change at Survivor Series, maybe at this Clash in Paris. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That said, I have a hard time seeing a world where you don't pay off Punk getting a reign.
Yeah.
It seems, as much as I agree with the LA Knight time, I feel it a huge disservice to the story with Punk to not pay off getting it back from Seth and then holding it for a while.
Well, because my thought was, you're not wrong. I should have finished that thought with Punk, because I actually would like to see a situation where maybe Gunther, and to your point, doesn't have to be all this can actually happen a lot sooner, where Gunther, wants a belt and he'll go and take Cody's belt, right? And then Punk shows up and is like, hey, I beat you for the world title before. I could do it again. Like, I would like to see that happen, because I would like to see Punk and Gunther go one more time. I think that would be really enjoyable. But you're right. You do got to pay off CM Punk winning the title somewhere. What title that is, you got to pay it off. We don't know, but you got to pay it off.
No, it has to be this title.
It has to be the world heavyweight title.
I think it does. The one that was stolen from him. You have to pay that story.
Which then goes back to what we were talking about before, about how good of a job WWE is doing at establishing this world heavyweight title as a 1A, 1B interchangeable given the season. So yeah, this is it's good. It's good. It's always fun. It's always fun to get nerdy, talk about these stories like this, because there's so many directions they can go in.
Yeah.
And I'm stoked, man. Monday Night Raw was very, very fun. I caught a lot of the highlights and saw like some of the big moments, and it was great. Even the Becky Lyra bit that happened, or no, sorry, Becky Nikki promo that happened, where Nikki got kind of roasted about the John Cena thing, and then mentioned the family of liars over at the Seth Rollins Becky Lynch household. Not rude though. She's one of the good ones. She's one of the good ones. She
only speaks the truth.
She's pure-hearted, Yeah, really, really fun stuff. We'll of course be keeping eyes on it. Clash of Paris is going to be our next big event for WWE, August 31st in La Défense Nanterre in France, not Paris, but France will be the event. And then we got Crown Jewel.
I'm sorry, on August 31st, you said?
Yes, on August 31st, I believe. Is that real? Yeah. Yeah. Why? What happened?
Why?
Well, because that is the day of the very first Alabama football game kicking off against the Florida State Seminoles.
Oh man, We're back.
So we're gonna have the old two TV setup.
TV
again.
setup. We're ready to do it. We're ready to do it. Okay, well, you know what? That takes us to our final part of this show. And you know exactly what that will be. It's the Rebooked 24/7 Champion of the Week. This, of course, is where we talk about the thing that brings us the most joy. Whether it's wrestling, outside of wrestling, it doesn't matter. It just brings us joy. So who wants to take the one that we all know we're going to take first? Who wants it? Go for it.
I've got a different one already. No, I have a different.
I've got a different one.
Oh, you got a different one too? Because I had a different one as well, because I figured we all were going to take it. But you know what? I will not do mine, but I am going to give a shout out real fast because I bought this shirt from Boardwalk and it says, "Bam the Fascist, save the books." So it's a great shirt from Boardwalk Tees. I want to give them a shout out. They do a lot of cool, like, anti-government things and stuff like that. Well, not anti-government, that sounds mean. More just like, using your voice. Anti-establishment, and most importantly, anti-fascism. So yeah, give them some love. But I'll just do it because Xavier Woods.
Give it to him.
Xavier Woods on WWE TV came outside and decided that this was the outfit he wanted to wear.
The poor people behind him.
I know.
For the people who are listening to our podcast, it is, of course, if you watch Monday Night Raw, New Day still mourning losing their tag titles, but they've taken the mourning a bit too far at this point.
How dare you? They're in mourning.
It's a serious loss.
Yeah.
This hat is so stupid. It's just the dumbest thing.
Gigantic.
And I just want to know.
How do you travel with that?
I want to know. I'm going to message.
I don't think he did.
I'm
think
literally
he probably
messaging
got
Woods
it
right now, and I'm going to ask him where he
in
got
the
it.
town.
Where did
That's
you
got
get
to be
the
a
hat?
rental.
And how did he travel? I want to know how he traveled with the hat.
I think it's a rental. I think he rented it in town and returned it before he went home.
But by a stroke of luck, someplace in town had a gigantic hat.
This is Xavier Woods, not stroke of luck. I'm sure dedicated research was done to find this ridiculous hat.
It is Brooklyn.
I
There's
just
nothing but
texted Creed.
weirdos
I just
there
texted Creed and I asked him, I need to know where you got the hat, and Jake needs to know whether or not you traveled with it. We'll see what the response is, and if we get the response, I'll post it in the Rebooked Discord. I'm sure he will respond. But yeah, what a...
And then it was thrown at him like a weapon.
And then Penta threw
later
it
on by Penta,
which was perfectly thrown, by the way.
Threw right between the ropes and hit like that was the craziest thing about the whole.
So I had filmed a thing the other day for Riot where we were in a wrestling ring. It'll come out pretty soon. It's pretty fun video, and I had to throw a briefcase through ropes. And it was at first it was like kind of struggling, but then I started to get the cadence. It's not easy. I took multiple attempts to throw this thing through the ropes. Penta did it in the first try. He just took the thing
in front of a live audience.
In front of a live audience. Yeah. And hit Woods and hit Kofi. That was brilliant. Yeah. So well done. But yeah, this again, just the greatest and worst hat of all time is my Rebooked 24/7 champion. Not Woods wearing it, although Woods wearing it, I mean, my guy looks incredible. Seriously, the baby oil's killing it right now. But no, that hat is in my Rebooked 24/7 champion nominee. And let's not forget about Kofi's incredible garb as well. Okay, he came out truly in an elegant fashion. Someone should call like Ash. Prince. Someone should call Ash. Might have a new member for the Elegance brand pretty soon. All right.
Every time I see him with the that lace thing with the hood up, I confuse it for I think it's like flat ironed hair, and I think he has like a super long either wig or let his hair down. And I keep forgetting he's got like this lacy hood on. Great.
Yeah.
They're too good. They're too good. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next because mine's very simple. But basically, a return we saw this week that we actually did want to happen. There was something that's been away for a long time. Well, I mean, I tell you what, went and put out a thing with that over the hair. The old man saying is the return of King of the Hill. I forgot it was coming back, and I saw it come up on my Hulu, and I watched the first couple episodes, and like it maintains a lot of
It's as good
the
as it ever has.
humor.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
Hank especially.
You know what's funny? I never got into it. I never got into King of the Hill, but actually, so many people have praised it that I think I'm going to give it a whirl because I hear it's just an excellent show. Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty awesome. And seeing Hank Hill after so much time away, trying to fit his reactions to 2025 America is pretty awesome.
Awesome. Love that. All right, King of the Hill. We got Woods' saucer of a hat, King of the Hill, and Jake. What we got?
I have two. One is non-wrestling. One is wrestling.
Okay.
The non-wrestling is another reboot that I saw on Friday. The Naked Gun.
Naked Gun.
Ah, yeah. I want to see it.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Here's just silly and dumb.
It's it's exactly what you want out of a Naked Gun movie.
Nice. Cynthia and I are going to go on a little date night tomorrow and watch it, so we're excited.
And dude, it does Naked Gun justice. They've got, and I'm telling you, not just stay through the credits, read the credits, because just like in the old movies, they have jokes hidden throughout the credits.
Amazing.
That are there's one of them that just says Netflix password. And it said, and the password is Embiid's knees 76 with 2 exclamation points, because Joel Embiid can't keep his knees healthy. Anyway, but like they've just got dumb jokes all through, and it's so funny. It's another movie so desperately
have
needed.
more context on 3 or anything like that, or
no, but there are moments or little references to
of course.
Yeah. What would you say they've of the Naked Gun movies? What would you say they've referenced more? The first one.
The first.
Okay, so then we'll do a rewatch of that tonight because I've seen it a couple times, but want to keep the jokes fresh in my head.
Because there's one in particular that they don't. It's hidden. It was a little Easter egg. And as soon as it came up, I was like, oh, and I was like,
nice.
I was explaining. I was like, Shauna, I don't know if you remember, but in this part they did this, and then that's what it is. And so it's just little stuff like that.
Amazing. What's your wrestling
one? The wrestling one, I can't believe I'm going to say it. I respect the hell out of Jelly Roll.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Was it?
I respect the hell out of Jelly Roll.
The clips that I saw, it looked like he was going. He was having fun.
Dude, I mean, but not just that, but like the way like he sold and like and just like how I thought he was great.
Yeah.
And just like when I saw like an interview with him before when he was talking to Jackie Redmond, and I don't know, like his vibe, he's got like a little Dusty in him, kind of like, it's just like I felt like he was very much, I know who I am and what I'm capable of. So I'll tell the story on my face and with my actions and that sort of stuff. And man, he took some crazy ass bumps. I couldn't believe, I thought he was dead after Logan Paul the frog splashed onto him.
That was crazy.
Man, like he was entertaining.
Yeah.
He was entertaining, and I couldn't have done. I'd be gassed walking down the ramp, man.
He definitely is feeling it, though. I'll tell you, he probably still is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like as a fellow always been fat boy, I got to give him some especially too, because he was like, this is the first time since 6th grade I've been under 300 pounds.
Wow.
Like he's lost 240 pounds or something like that. I mean, like it's crazy how much weight he's lost. And so just always happy to see a fellow fat boy turn things around. And
I thought that was awesome.
Well, so.
I mean, there is obviously some legitimate criticisms of the whole celebrity wrestling thing. But honestly,
he did it justice. Honestly, I mean,
and the people they've been bringing on have been doing outside of Travis Scott. They're really just the only one.
Yeah,
because he couldn't be bothered to show up to rehearsal.
The business.
Yeah,
and that's what means a lot to me as the fan, is saying, okay, well, I understand a celebrity being a fan, but them coming in and really respecting wrestling and. Man, I mean,
again, it's like when Bad Bunny did it, man. Like a guy
I wouldn't
who
be
just
mad seeing Jelly Roll. I wouldn't be mad seeing Jelly Roll get his wind up a little bit more and just beat the shit out of Paul at another pay-per-view.
I'd be with it.
I'll cheer for him.
I ain't mad.
I'll cheer for him.
I'd do it. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'd watch that match, actually. If it was just
Yeah.
Logan Paul getting his ass beat all over the place, I'm totally in. Totally in. I know it won't happen, but totally in. Totally in.
Yeah.
Well,
But
okay.
I give it to the hat.
We gotta
I
give it to the
hat.
Yeah, I gotta
You
give it to the
gotta
hat.
give it to the hat, man. One
There's too many logistical questions, so we don't have answers to.
There's too many things. Too many things. I mean,
mystery.
again, the hat's got to get the win, guys. We don't make the
Yeah.
rules here, although we do. So there you go. The hat wins Rebooked 24/7 champion of the week.
Not Woods.
Not
The
Woods.
hat.
No, the hat.
The hat. It's very, very clear. We have to be clear. It
Very
is the hat.
specific.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us here today. We thank you all so much for tuning in. And we did say that we were going to talk about Battlefield 6 real quick. All I'm going to say is just go buy the damn game. Seriously.
I can't. Oh my God. I'm so hyped for it.
I'm not being paid by them anymore, guys. Okay. So please just trust me when I tell you, I was blown away. I never seen a developer in these marketing events that I've done just walk up and just genuinely be like, nah, we'll just talk authentically about the game. Like, they stood on business. They had no problems. They were willing to talk about all these really like things that you wouldn't talk about with devs. They were more than down to talk about, because they know that they need
How
to
important it
have
is. Yeah.
they need to have a winner here. And I'm telling you, Battlefield 6 is a freaking winner.
It looks so good.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be
Open beta
huge.
this weekend.
Yeah, we're playing.
That's right. I'm getting it.
Playing. We're doing open betas. I already got a couple of my codes in. We're doing it. It's gonna the early beta. So because your boy hosted the event, so I got to get at least something out of it. So yeah, outside of the paycheck. But yeah. So seriously, Battlefield 6 was incredible. Like, hopefully you guys give it a whirl. Game is sick. If you guys want to ask more, feel free to join us on our Discord. Okay, you can find all that information down in the comments here on YouTube. You can also find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you decide to listen to your audio goodness. And if you don't want to mess with any of that stuff, all you got to do is go to rebookedpod.com. You can see it there right below, rebookedpod.com. You can follow us across all social media. You can join our Discord. You can follow us across all of our platforms where we distribute the show. All that good stuff. We just hit 100 episodes. This is our 101 episode. We cannot thank you enough for joining us on this journey. To the folks who have come up to me across the events this weekend saying that they enjoyed the show, I cannot express to you how much that means to me. And it's been a hectic last few weeks for me, work-wise and family-wise. So I'm hoping to be able to get some more fun and creative things going for the show and doing things more than just recaps, but actually like having more fun with it. So any feedback you have, feel free to let us know in our Discord. We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.